Hello, my pop culture junkies. Welcome back to another edition of Pop Culture Mondays on Thursdays. It's me, Brooke. I'm just going to take some Tylenol right now and then let's get into it.
On Thursdays.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys who are listening and watching. I do want to say to all of those people who are listening that you might want to try watching us on YouTube just because there are some things that it just makes more sense when you're watching it. The videos that I show, some of the visuals that pop up that you're not seeing or hearing when you're just listening. And I understand you're in your car, you're jogging or whatnot, doing all those like active things. But if you get a chance to watch it, just here or there, it's fun. There's lots of things that you might miss if you're just listening. But I do have a little show and tell. I have a extra strength Tylenol, this stuff. Let me explain Tylenol to you. Okay. And then we'll talk about why I'm talking about it if we don't know. I had open heart surgery. Fully, like, I don't know. They did a really good job. But again, if you are not watching, you cannot see this. But I have a scar, right, pretty big, long down the center of my chest. And one of the things that I was really nervous about when I had my surgery was not addiction to opioids, but the reaction it was going to give me. I had read so many reports about how opioids, like from Percocet to Oxy to all of the things we know are bad, can actually cause real depression in people post-surgery, especially heart surgery. It can really cause an emotional up and down. And you're already going through an emotional roller coaster after having open heart surgery. To factor in to my situation, this was October 2020 in a city I had moved to 12 weeks earlier with none of my closest friends and no family in Los Angeles where I was. So I didn't need to add to any emotional drama in my life. So I worked out a pain plan with my doctors where I did not take anything stronger than this right here. Extra strength Tylenol. Literally. I had gabapentin. I'm not going to lie. That's nerve pain medicine. It's a miracle drug, gabapentin. If you're a woman of a certain age, I will tell you that obviously check with your doctors, but gabapentin can help with perimenopausal symptoms too. But it's also a nerve pain medicine, and that helped. But really, like Tylenol, extra strength Tylenol got me through open heart surgery. This stuff is great. Now, I'm also a communications person. So I, like many people listening and watching, are very familiar with, I think it was 1982, the whole Tylenol cyanide incident that to this day in 2025 is taught in schools, whether it's psychology classes, communications classes, crisis communications, whatever. You learn about it. Some people learn about it in high school. I learned about it in high school. I don't remember what course I was taking, but then again, it was taught in college in one of my communications courses. In 1982, I believe it was in a suburb of Chicago, several people died. And what they figured out finally was this cyanide poisoning. It was random. There were two family members, I think, at one point because they were in the same household, but otherwise random. And it turned out to be a crazy man who had been able to get cyanide into some of the capsules. And it is a textbook case study on how a brand deals with a crisis, because before anybody told them to, Tylenol did the crazy thing, and to this day is like one of the best things that a company, and I believe it was Johnson and Johnson at the time. It now has a different name of the company, like Canovo or something. I don't know, that owns Tylenol, but it's all part of the family. They decided to take this sucker off every shelf in America. I don't know if it was globally, but certainly every shelf in America. Think about it. And this little safety thing that you have where you have to press down like the child's safety, this is on all medicine as a result of that 1982 drama. That's it. That's what we have to think. Tylenol to this day will be associated in people of a certain generation's mind as that sort of, scary moment, sort of like Halloween candy with pins in it. But at the same time, they did such a remarkable job as a brand in navigating that crisis and taking like every single precaution known to man. So why am I fucking talking about Tylenol right now? We are Trump free. We are Trump free. We are Trump free. But every once in a while, and we're obviously going to talk Kimmel and all of that, but every once in a while, we need to reference something that's crazy going on. Shana Tova, basically. Happy Rosh Hashanah, Happy New Year to all of those who celebrate. And I honestly I'm trying to find something nice to say about these people. But you have Donald J. Trump, the bastion of medical knowledge, RFK Jr., who, frankly should be in jail for killing his wife, but I'll let somebody else figure that one out at another date. And Dr. Oz, I can't, whose daughter I used to do a lot of partying with back in the day. So, yeah, great family. Anyway, I digress. The three of them do a press conference. It's like unhinged, like literally unhinged. I'm not going to play it. We're not going to listen to their voices. I'm not going to give you guys nightmares, but Trump could not even pronounce the word acetaminophen. Acetaminophen? I can't. I'm not the president of the fucking United States. Like Caitlin, whatever her name is, needs to spell things out phonetically on big, big index cards for Elmo. Needs to do it. But they announce, with zero scientific evidence from like real doctors that the cause of autism has been discovered, and it's Tylenol. It's Tylenol's fault. If you're a pregnant woman and you took Tylenol, then you gave your child autism. That is basically what they're saying. Do not take Tylenol, they say. Let me be clear. It is very dangerous for a pregnant woman to have a fever, and a way to lower the fever safely over generations is with Tylenol. It is a very dangerous thing for a child in utero to be impacted by a fever. So it is absolutely essential for a woman to bring down her temperature if she has a temperature when she's sick. I'm not saying you should be popping Tylenols like Tic Tacs or any medicine like that, but it is proven to be safe from all studies and doctors that I have gotten reports from today. And then to tell pregnant women that they just need to tough it out. You couldn't, and those three men could not deal with one day of being a woman. I'm just telling you straight up. Do you know that I did not know I was in heart failure, and I was in heart failure because the symptoms that the generations of data has been given to people about symptoms of heart failure is all coming from men. And the symptoms for me was just another day. Oh, you're, tired. It takes you a little bit longer to get out of bed. Walking up the stairs can wind you. I was just like, I'm feeling down. It's COVID. I'm stressed out. These are things that will make a man cry. And we as women just like push the fuck through. So I don't know if telling a pregnant woman that she just needs to toughen up, they're the toughest people out there. Okay, like be pregnant. And as somebody who hasn't had children, but I have plenty of awareness of what it takes to be a pregnant woman. So I'm going to dedicate this episode to the makers of Tylenol, who have literally not had a shittier day since 1982. And this makes 1982 cyanide look like a walk in the park. Thoughts and prayers. What did the Tylenol CEO guy do to the Trump administration? It's really bad. It's really scary. And I'm all for finding out the causes of autism. And it is paramount, just like I want to find out the causes and cures of cancer and Alzheimer's and ALS and everything out there. But to just make these like grandiose blanket statements, which also, again, feels like a deflection, with three people who really are not the bastions of knowledge when it comes to true science. I don't know. I'd rather the people who play doctors on TV, like Dr. Robbie from The Pit, I feel is more knowledgeable than Donald Trump, RFK, and Dr. Oz put together. Like Noah Wiley, I trust more with this sort of subject matter than I do the three of them. So you're welcome. Okay, so we are recording this in the time machine. Anything could happen between now and when this publishes. I have no idea. Everything always happens. Tuesday, Wednesday, it's a disaster. I'm just giving you the heads up. But we do have breaking news, and that is that Jimmy Kimmel is coming back on Tuesday night. And so all of those people, from the president to all the people that were at the Trump rally, aka Charlie Kirk Memorial over the weekend, all of those people were saying, like, yeah, Jimmy was fired, Jimmy was fired, Jimmy was fired. He wasn't fired. It was never a firing. Now, we didn't know whether he was going to be fired, and we still don't know what the outcome is going to be, but he was pulled from the air, which is very, very different. And he was pulled from the air for a variety of reasons. I think one, Disney and its leadership were pussies. I said it. I'm sorry. I said it. I mean, Daddy Iger has lost his daddy status with all of my gays who are like, Daddy Bobby Iger. I mean, he is a very handsome man. They were all like, you've lost daddy status. Like Pedro Pascal remains daddy. Bob Iger has lost privileges for the time being. And this is a man who stood up in like really dark times for Disney. So it was very surprising. Now, we understand there's a lot at stake. There's acquisitions they're trying to make. There's the NFL stuff. And the affiliates, which are the power in network television, sort of dictate what's going to happen. And we still have one affiliate company, Sinclair, which I think has like 35 affiliate stations, saying they're not going to air it. And I'm like, I don't watch late night television on TV. I stream it. I watch it on TikTok. I watch it in clips. I watch it on YouTube. That's how I watch it. And I'm 51, so I know the kids are watching it that way for the most part. And I think that, like, as I said in the newsletter this week, Conan O'Brien walked so these guys can run. And Jimmy Kimmel, I do like Jimmy Kimmel, like, honestly, way better than Jimmy Fallon. God, the stories I could tell. Somebody get me a book deal. And when I'm really old and in bed and have like a nurse to feed me, I will write my tell book. But I think Jimmy Kimmel is smarter and just funnier, really, in many ways than Fallon. But that's neither here nor there. They all could benefit from looking at what Conan O'Brien has done. Conan gets out of the network game. He's no longer hosting the show. People are like, that's it. That's sayonara. Off into the sunset you go, Conan O'Brien. And Conan is now like, I think most people who now know Conan have no idea that he had a late night show. They just know Conan from his podcast and everything that he's done since. And this is the future. Look at me sitting in my little office in my house. Like, this is like, you don't need hundreds of people. You don't need to be at the behest of a network and their affiliates and advertisers. You can do this all yourself, Jimmy Kimmel. And your wife, who is your head writer, Molly, I think, you guys are brilliant, literally brilliant, literally brilliant. Can I say literally again or say it like the English? Literally. And I think you should like give the gift to the world, which is take it on you, have ownership. Do it not like the Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly stuff, because they don't know what they're doing. But like, look at Conan O'Brien. He walked so you could run. That is my absolute guarantee, I think, if done correctly. The fact of the matter is the reaction to the FCC chair doing what he did, saying what he said. And then you had Bondi going after her, saying, we're going to go after hate speech. Like, the reaction was not just from the left of shock and awe. I will say, to the credit of people who I like, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but it is a dark, dark day when I am on the same page as Ted Cruz, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. Like, my God, if the rapture wasn't going to be actually happening this week, which we're going to get into, I'd be like, just the apocalypse has happened. But the end of the day, the hypocrisy on this whole free speech, and I talked about it last week, is just crazy. I mean, we are living in crazy times. The gaslighting is crazy. And like, I'll give you an example of gaslighting. I just had a vet tell me that my dog was in liver failure. So, so sorry. We're so, so sorry to tell you this. And I said, I appreciate you telling me, except that you don't, it's like being told you have chicken pox, but you have no pox on you. You're like, I'm sorry, I'm so confused. What are you saying? And this vet, who shall remain nameless, said to me over the phone, I never met this person, just looking at blood work, saying, no, your dog is definitely presenting symptoms. I said, no, I assure you, like, my understanding is liver failure presents, like, there's no appetite. There is lethargy. There is, all the bad things, vomiting, diarrhea, all that stuff. And he's eating, drinking fine, playing, everything is great. And this person says to me, I understand that being an owner, sometimes you don't want to see what's right in front of you. And I was like, bitch, don't gaslight me. My dog is not presenting. Like, either he's presenting or he's not presenting. I'm not making this up. I'm not seeing things. And it turned out, not in liver failure. That's another story. But my point here is that these people are gaslighting. And what is the line? Was it, I don't even remember who said it. It's probably is from some like mythology, or is it from like Alexander the Great? I'm not quite sure. This is where my brain goes a little foggy, but you would rather, like, the danger isn't a bunch of wolves being led by a sheep. It's a bunch of sheep being led by a wolf. That's the analogy, right? So that's the more danger. Like, you can have a million wolves that are ready to attack, but if their leader, if their general on the battlefield is a sheep, it's going to be chaos. Their battle gets totally lost. But if you have a bunch of sheep, but they're being led by a great wolf in battle, you like probably are going to be better off. You're going to have a winning team. And I feel like the administration knows that analogy, and they're being led by wolves and they are leading a bunch of sheep. And I'm just saying it the way I see it. I'm not being political. I guess I am, but I don't want to be. This is still pop culture. But the idea that everybody is being gaslit into, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we're like, free speech, free speech. Like, literally, Space Karen bought Twitter to preserve, in his mind, free speech. And now when it's saying things that they don't like, here we are. So these are some of the funny free speech tweets, posts, TikToks that I found to be, maybe they're mostly tweets, the most interesting and telling in this moment. So the hypocrisy is real. It makes no sense. But the Jimmy Kimmel being canceled, which is what he was. Again, he wasn't fired, but he was AKA cancel culture. Again, something that the far right was against, and now they're for. I can't. It's like watching tennis. It's in the midst of watching a very fascinating like tennis match. Like, which side is doing what? I can't keep track. The far left is crazy too. Everybody's crazy. I don't know. But Jimmy Kimmel, the response from the right and the left was pretty telling, that these guys were like, maybe we sort of stepped in it. Maybe. But here is some of my favorite TikToks about Jimmy and what to make of it.
To understand the full impact of Jimmy Kimmel's show being pulled off the air, you have to first understand how broadcast television works. Jimmy Kimmel has a staff of about 22 people and hundreds of production folks who work on creating the content that is creating the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. That show is then produced by ABC. ABC then has to work with the distributor, in this case Sinclair Broadcast Company, to get the show onto your television. With Sinclair Broadcast Media that threatened to not distribute any of ABC's programming unless they pulled the Jimmy Kimmel show. This is the Sinclair Smith family, and Julian, the patriarch of the family, was a pioneer of early broadcast television. Sinclair Media Company controls about 26% of everything that gets aired on television. They are an open and unapologetic conservative family. They donate almost exclusively to the Republican Party. And while the old man passed away in the 90s, the company has been run by his sons ever since. And you can see a little bit more transparently now how this Jimmy Kimmel thing happened. They write that they will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live on their stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. They also want Jimmy Kimmel to issue a formal apology to the Kirk family and to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. And they reiterate, regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the programming, hinting that perhaps ABC will just straight up cancel Jimmy Kimmel altogether, Sinclair intends to not return Jimmy Kimmel Live to the air until they are confident that these steps have been taken. In addition to ABC, Sinclair controls the distribution for CBS, Fox, the CW, and NBC. And because of the way that television is set up, they have the right to preempt or refuse to air any show that they don't want to air.
We do like 160 of these a year or something, and you know, when I have the chance, it's always nice to start the show with some good news. Well, just a few hours before we tape this broadcast, we got word that our long national late nightmare is over. Because Disney announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live will return to air on ABC tomorrow, Tuesday night. Come on!
So I know I've been babbling. We need to get more into fun pop culture things. Let's step away from politics for a second. By the time this airs, and I hope that people are around on Thursday to actually watch or listen, but it's anyone's guess because I don't know if you knew, but Christian Talk, aka Rapture Talk, as in TikTok, Rapture Talk, Christian Talk, has alerted us, people who are not getting saved, clearly, I will be here. I with 100% certainty, will still be here after the rapture. But apparently the rapture is happening on Tuesday. And actually, while I am recording this, it is Tuesday in parts of the world, in Australia, New Zealand, Asia, like it is Tuesday. I don't think we have gotten any reports of people going up, ascending, as they say, into the heavens. But who's to say? I mean, maybe. So I hope we're around on Tuesday night to watch Jimmy Kimmel. I hope I'm around Tuesday night because I'm very excited for my Rosh Hashanah dinner. I'm very excited for Kugel. I'm very excited to celebrate with my friends, come home and actually watch Jimmy Kimmel. I will definitely be here, but for those of my friends, Christians only, who will be saved, I will report back to you. I hope they have TikTok in heaven. I will get it to you somehow. But honestly, like some of my favorite TikToks of all time came out of Rapture Talk. So let's just break it down and listen, watch, learn. Here are a few.
Rapture update. As of right now, it's 12:30 a.m. Tuesday in Sydney, Australia. It's 2:30 a.m. in Auckland, New Zealand. People, what's going on over there? Tell us, is y'all raptured? Is it a rolling rapture like Santa Claus? Because, you know, in some hours, it's going to be Wednesday. When it gets later in Tuesday, it's going to be Wednesday for y'all and Tuesday for us. Tell us, Aucklanders, Aussies, has it happened?
I don't know if anyone else has been on Rapture Talk the past couple of days, but these people are saying that when you get raptured, you're going to go up into the sky naked. Do you think a lot of these Christian women are full body shaving for Jesus, or do you think they're going to go up bush first?
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save...
What are you guys wearing to the rapture? I like don't want to be too overdressed. I don't know, like but I've never ascended before, so like I'm not sure what the vibe is. I also like will say I do think I'm gonna go with pants because I don't want to get like upskirted mid ascension. That's like not on my agenda for Rapture Day. So let me.
Endless amusement. Endless amusement. I also found this image really telling. Like, I think we should start pranking people all around. Like, I think it would be great wherever you are, whatever community you are in, just leave your clothes, your purse, your shoes just sort of in a puddle somewhere. And we should do that all throughout and let people be like totally freaked out. Like, that should be the prank we all play across the country. That to me is one that is really worth it. You know, I just think we need to be in on it with the rest of the evangelicals. But I don't know if the rapture was in the Bible. I mean, I've read that sucker. I don't I think I need to revisit. I don't believe it was, but I think it was something later. But either way, like the whole point of whoever concocted the rapture, the idea is that we don't know. There is no set date. And so the reason this all happened is because of this guy, this South African preacher who on a YouTube video a couple months ago alerted his flock that has gone viral as a result that Jesus spoke to him and told him that the rapture was unequivocally coming September 23rd, September 24th, something like that. Just take a little listen.
The rapture is upon us. It's so upon us that if you are not ready for it, it is ready for you. It says to me, on the 23rd and the 24th of September, 2025, I will come to take my church.
There's a date.
There is a date.
Yeah. Did you realize where we're at? Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like this is my 35th rapture. It depends on how you look at things, but we've been through this before. I mean, we've heard this. There's always something that's like, this is it, this is it. But there are people that are really, truly believers. And I don't know, like this little ditty is correct. The religious psychosis, like it's again, every episode we're talking about a different psychosis. We've talked about AI psychosis, and we've talked about like being online constantly psychosis. And now this is a religious psychosis. So here are some true believers who are telling it like they're experts. They know how to ascend into the heavens. Like they're giving you guidance. So watch and learn.
Guys, I'm saying goodbye to my car. I've had it for 5 years. They're taking it. Oh, this is my baby, man. This has been my baby for years. 5 years. But she's gotta go. I won't need her beyond September, because I'm going home to where my Father in heaven is. She's a nice car, isn't she? I kept that baby clean. Some scratches around it, but for the most part, she's nice. But she's mine no more. Someone else is going to get her. I'm catching a flight to heaven in September anyway. I won't need the car. Roar! Roar!
Rapture trip tip number 5. When you finally start moving up into the air, I recommend that you don't hold on to anything. I definitely don't recommend looking down. I think we learned that lesson from Lot's wife. Okay. Just keep calm, take a deep breath, slowly release it, and keep your face looking upwards. And pray you're not on the toilet.
So I guess my advice to everyone is if you really believe, and we get, those who are saved, those good Christians who get sucked up into the heavens, It's going to be cold and hot and cold and hot. Like it is so much friction. I would just suggest getting waxed or getting manscaped, because all that's going to go, as those other creators said, that's all going to be up in your face when people are just getting sucked up. Definitely get your affairs in order, where you then leave all of your things to your friends. I'm sure that would be really appreciative. Like, in fact, Kara Swisher posted on Blue Sky, like, when you get raptured, will you give me all your stuff? Which is funny because, like, she at least is self-aware enough to know that she won't be raptured, if that's how we even say it. Have you been raptured? But I certainly wouldn't. But even if I was a believer, my shit is not going to Kara Swisher. It is not. She has so much. She's got an abundance. My stuff will go to my nieces, Haley and Heather. Thank you so much. That's in my will. If I died, it's because they killed me and they raptured me. But I don't know what to say to these people when, like, Wednesday comes along and they're still here. Like, what do they do? This person lost her job. I mean, as you saw before, people have sold their cars, but this person has lost her job, moved to Louisiana, she said, because she hates Louisiana, but God told her that she needed to be there. And she's such a believer that she couldn't get time. She's lost her job.
So this is going to be my last confirmation video that I make. If you go back in my channel, I have several others. I'm going to briefly recap some of the other ones. But I think the biggest one just happened to me Thursday. I grew up in a Christian home. For over 30 years, I've heard that we are living in the end times and in the last days, and the rapture could happen at any moment. I have never felt urgency until November. Whenever the rapture happens, whether it is next week, next month, next year, can you please just arrange things where I can be home with my family when it happens? Not on the road, not at work, just please let me be home with my family. I asked that he would let the car not start or send bad weather or something where work would be canceled. Just throwing out some options like he doesn't already know. But those were the options I suggested. About 4 hours later, I was fired.
I don't know. I commented. I rarely comment, but on this TikTok, I was like, when you're still here, I hope you get the help you need, because this is going to be a real awakening. Now, they will come up, they'll be like, well, I never was fully sure, and the rapture happened in another way, or it's going to happen at another time. They're going to explain themselves away. They can't acknowledge that perhaps that's not what's happening. Now, if it happens, and we've seen it, like The Leftovers, whatnot, we've seen the blip in Marvel movies, which is taken from the rapture. I will fully acknowledge. I'll come on here and say I was wrong. All of those good souls are gone. I think we'd be in a better place, perhaps. Maybe everything would calm down a bit, because I think you know what I'm saying. I'm going to not say what's going on in my head. I'm going to keep the inside voice inside for now. But I really, thoughts and prayers to all of those people who have been planning like it was the year 2000, the preppers. I hope you guys get offline, maybe. Just get offline. Get off the internet. Get off the socials. Go touch grass. Go actually touch grass and stop thinking about this alternative ending and just live in the moment. And that's the thing I will say, not to be depressing, but my parents died way too young. Way, way, way too young. My mom was 57. My dad was 61, which is impossible for me to think about, because they had so much life ahead. Now, 81 is considered young. Like, it's just amazing where people get to now. And they lived a big life, but they also lived their life as a dress rehearsal. They kept saying, we'll get to it. Once Brooke, the youngest, is in college, we'll get to it. Once she graduates college and off in the real world, we'll finally do all those things we wanted to do. And they didn't get to do all of those things. And I just stopped worrying about like the rapture, the end of the world. And if it is like going to come, just live in the moment. Stop recording TikToks about it. Stop telling us how to ascend and to look up. Just live. Go and play with your children. Go and play with your friends. Go and have a cocktail. Go and have a mocktail. I don't care. Just get off TikTok. Stop making fucking ridiculous things. I'm sorry. I'm ranting now. And I was going to end there, but there are two things that people are talking about that were dropped on the streaming networks, if you will. One I've seen and one I cannot see. So the one that I've not seen that everyone is talking about is Black Rabbit. And it's interesting that I can't see it because I would say in the top 3 men that I think of as like holy hot guy that I would literally give up my life for is Jude Law. Like, I am a Jude Law stan. I love him. I love A Short King. I loved him in The Young Pope. I've loved him in everything. Like, no denying he is a sexy motherfucker. Okay. And Jason Bateman, I've loved him since, I can't remember, I guess Little House on the Prairie then was before Silver Spoons. I used to kiss the television on Silver Spoons when Ricky Schroeder and Jason Bateman showed up on screen. Jason Bateman, though, is playing in this show, limited series on Netflix, a sort of, drug-addled bad boy, like just sort of gross and not clean cut and sort of, like a gambling addict and whatnot. And I don't buy it. Jason Bateman you do not have the bone structure for that guy. That is a miscast. I'm sorry. He is incredibly funny. He plays a bad guy well, or a guy who's conflicted on Ozarks, but that is like a suburban dad that went, down the wrong, that's sort of like Breaking Bad situation. He is not like a greasy haired, he doesn't have the bone structure for it. I am so sorry, but I have not watched it for a couple of other reasons. One, I'm so sorry, but most of my friends said it's not very good. Again, I still watch shit that's not good. I watch 482 episodes of Law and Order that I've watched 482 times. Like, it doesn't, I will watch anything. It is apparently very much, I don't even think it's like coded. It's very much just being about the Spotted Pig in New York City. And the Spotted Pig was a restaurant that was iconic. It was one of the best moments in New York City, that era, until it wasn't. For those of you, if you know, I love the Spotted Pig. It was my local. It was some of the greatest food. It was the first gastropub in New York, which is sort of crazy to think about. Had a Michelin star. Nothing better than going with friends and having their famous burger at midnight with their skinny fries and some nudie and a bottle of rosé and a martini with your friends at like midnight. I went there when I had my heart broken. I went there when I was in love. I was there like 4 or 5 nights a week. No joke. I also was an investor. So full disclosure, I was involved with that restaurant from the very beginning. And the Spotted Pig was settings for some of the greatest moments in my life. I had some of the great parties. I remember, though he never ever references me, but a very famous sort of interaction with Bono and Bill Gates. At the Spotted Pig at dinner, I was there. I was part of that dinner. Some of the greatest conversations. I had dinner with Jay-Z. I had dinner with Charlie Rose before he became, a sex scandal, which is leading into the right thing. I had holiday parties there. I had dinners with my friends, like almost like 3-4 nights a week. Like I said, brunch there. It was my spot. I loved it. It was home. It was comfort. It was it was the closest thing to Cheers that I ever have had, where I walked in and everyone knew my name and you knew people everywhere and you would just sit and it turned into a party. Sometimes the top floor turned into a dance party and then it all came crashing down. And I'm not saying that there wasn't some bad behavior, but the bad behavior that was reported was incorrectly reported. It was, oh God, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but they attributed, the news organizations attributed a room in the Spotted Pig as a rape room for this sex scandal that involved the chef Mario Batali. Mario is a friend, and Mario's still a friend, and I care about that man, and I understand that there were incidents that people have talked about, but he was found innocent, and I never witnessed anything of that nature. I witnessed bad behavior at the Spotted Pig. Let me be clear. I witnessed drugs. I witnessed drunkenness. I witnessed friends cheating on partners. I witnessed a lot, but I never witnessed anything violent or anything where a woman was unsafe. I never saw that. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I didn't see it. But the rape room was connected to a different restaurant and wrongly connected to the Spotted Pig. Now, there were so many other things. Then the owner of the restaurant, this guy Ken, was in trouble for bad behavior and not treating employees right. And the chef, they all did terrible PR things. They did not know. This was all in the height of Me Too. And it was terrible. It was not terrible in the sense that I was let down by people I loved and trusted, and they were not well behaved. And as a result, the community lost one of the greatest joints in New York City. So it's out of business. It closed up, and people lost their jobs, and people who didn't deserve to lose their jobs, like the wait staff and the kitchen staff and incredible people that had been there. And this show is apparently very much sort of bringing that back. And I can't go back there. It's too painful. Like, I don't want to go back there. But if you guys have thoughts, I want to hear. But the one that I did watch, and I think everybody should, also something that I was very connected to and know all of the players, some better than others, is Swiped on Hulu. Also, my friend Mary Neely is in it, and you guys have to watch it just because she's so great in it. But it's a hell of a cast. I mean, a hell of a cast. And it is about Whitney Wolf, who is the founder of Bumble, and that origin story. Now, it says she had nothing to do with it and was quite perplexed and dismayed by it. I understand she's under strict, still to this day, NDA over her time at Tinder, working with Sean Rad and Justin Mateen, who I also knew. I've only met Whitney a few times. I knew Justin and Sean well. I don't know if she really didn't get involved. I mean, it was a chef's kiss to her. She comes out smelling like roses in this. They do not come out. They are very handsome in it though. So they should, if you're listening, Sean and Justin, you should be very happy. You have very hot actors playing you. You are very, very, very good looking. Way better looking than you are in real life. And you guys are handsome, but way better looking. But it was at a different time. It was the era when this behavior, not that it doesn't exist to this day, but it was certainly at a time when men got away. Well, I guess we're back at it, but men got away with a lot more. And even with evidence, text messages, a woman was made to feel that they did something wrong when a man was treating them inappropriately in the workplace, whether it was a boss, whether it was just any sort of situation. When you're having a relationship with somebody you work with, again, whether there is a power structure there or not, it can get messy when that relationship ends. And it's the genesis story of how she got pushed out and really in a terrible way. And then the creation of Bumble and the Badu guy is this Russian guy who I've also met, who I thought was characterized perfectly actually in the movie. It's a fun watch. It's a really telling watch because I think you guys who might not be in the tech world to understand how difficult it is to be a female founder, how few women get to that table where even if they're the founders of the company, to break through that sort of not just unicorn, but like whatever, getting a company to go public and being a female founder, it's very, very rare. And I thought it was a really interesting, it really understood the tech climate at that moment. It really understood the sort of like do anything. We are doing everything. We are literally 24/7 for the company that we work for, or that we're a part of. And it's a really, I can't speak about it enough in that it was really representative of that moment in time. And it was a reminder of what things were like and also what we need to keep attention to. So here's just a little clip before we go so you can see a little bit of it.
Maybe I should stop being shocked by success after the past few months we've had.
It's pretty all-consuming. You know, we're together all the time. It's a big family. You know, families can get messy, right?
Okay, well, with that, I want to thank Live Nation, as always, for making this podcast possible. And if you guys have any thoughts of what you want to see on this podcast, if you have any recommendations or any things you want me to dig into next week, you know where to find me. Until then, see you next week.